You know that feeling, right? You get a grade back and it just stings. It's just a single number and it feels like it completely misses all the hard work you put in. Well, today we're going to go beyond the grade. We're going to figure out what those scores are really supposed to tell us, and more importantly, how we can use them to actually get better.
I mean, we've all been there. You spend hours, maybe even days, on a big project. You're polishing it, you're perfecting it. You get to the point where you're genuinely proud of it. You feel like you've given it everything you've got. And then all of that effort, all that passion, it all gets boiled down to just one single lonely thing. A number just like this. Maybe it's a 78%, or a B minus, or a 3 out of 5. It just kind of sits there on the page, staring back at you. And you're left thinking, is that good? Is it bad? What does that even mean? And that right there, that's the real problem, isn't it? That number tells you what you got, but it gives you absolutely zero clue about how to do better next time. So that's exactly what we're going to untangle today. So to get started, we really need to draw a clear line in the sand between two things that get mixed up all the time: the score itself and the feedback that really ought to come with it. First up, you have score reporting. Think of this as just the official result. It's the final destination. It tells you where you ended up. It is the what. And then there's feedback. And this is the really crucial part. Feedback is the information that helps you improve. It's not the destination, it's more like the GPS that gives you the route for next time. It's the how. So to put it as simply as possible, score reporting tells you your score. That's it. But feedback, that tells you how to get better. You see, one is basically a judgment, but the other is a guide. And while they're both important, only one of them actually helps you learn.
But wait, it gets even more interesting because not all scores are made equal. The way a score is actually presented to you can make a huge difference in how useful it is. So let's take a look at the anatomy of a score. It really just comes down to two main approaches. On one hand, you've got holistic reporting. That's kind of like throwing all your skills into one big pot and just getting one single number, like that 78%. But then you have profile reporting, which is way more like a neatly organized toolkit, giving you separate scores for different skills. And check this out, this shows the difference perfectly. Instead of just one single score for speaking, a profile report breaks it all down. You can look at this and think, okay, my fluency is pretty strong, but my pronunciation could use some work, and my interactional competence is kind of in the middle. All of a sudden, that one vague number turns into a real map for what to work on. Okay, so getting a detailed score report is a huge step up for sure. But the real magic, the real game changer, happens when we move beyond the numbers completely and start focusing on feedback that's actually designed for growth. You can kind of think of feedback in three levels. So at the very bottom, you've got evaluative feedback. That's really just the score itself. A step up from that is descriptive feedback, which points out your strengths and weaknesses. But the gold standard, that's formative feedback. This is the stuff that gives you concrete, actual strategies for what to do differently next time.
And this quote it nails it. The best feedback isn't really about what you did in the past. It's a tool to help you with your future performance. It's the thing that answers that nagging question, okay, so what do I actually do now?
Now, of course, it's easy to just say give better feedback. But when we're talking about really complex skills, like having a conversation or working on a team project or giving a presentation, it gets a whole lot trickier. So why is this so hard? Well, because your performance isn't just about you. A lot of it is about co-constructed meaning. That's the understanding you build with another person. And think about partner effects. Was your partner in that debate helping you shine, or were they kind of holding you back? And everything is context dependent. A presentation to your boss is going to be totally different from one to your friends. Trying to tease all those factors apart, it's a real challenge. So knowing all those challenges, how do we actually get it right? Well, whether you're the one giving the feedback or the one asking for it, here's a kind of toolkit to help make it genuinely useful. So what does great feedback actually look like? Well, first off, it has to be clear and super specific. It also needs to be directly linked back to the original goals or criteria. It's got to be actionable and constructive, something you can actually do something with. And finally, it has to be appropriate for the learner's level, not just a huge, overwhelming data dump. And on the flip side, here are the big traps you want to avoid. Vague comments like, good job, or needs more work are totally useless.
Focusing only on the number, that just kills any motivation to learn. But probably the biggest mistake of all is just giving a score with zero explanation. It's basically a dead end. So when you boil it all down, the most crucial point is this. We have to stop thinking of a score as the end of the line. It should be the beginning. It should be the starting point for a conversation about learning, about improving, and about what comes next. So that's the real challenge for all of us, isn't it? Doesn't matter if you're a manager, a teacher, a student, or just a friend giving some advice. The next time a number comes up, ask yourself, what's the real story behind it? How can we look beyond that single data point and find the actual path to getting better? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for digging into this with me.